Hello and welcome to anyone and everyone who's decided to watch this video. And guys, it's time to say goodbye. For these are the last two figures in the Blokees Classic Class collection. For this price point is being discontinued and replaced with the Champion class that they've already started using with some of their other IPs. That is basically kind of like the same thing as this. I think it's got a higher piece count maybe, and it is going to be more expensive. But before we move on to those, we have our final two classics here with Bumblebee and Starscream based after Transformers 1. But before we talk about them, we have to take a look at their little buddies here. They've got these cool, honestly kind of weird little pack-ins of Megatron and Elita 1 in their vehicle modes. And yeah, these are interesting little Hot Wheels-sized vehicles, and I don't really get why they come with these, but at the same time, I kind of like them. Megatron can't really do much. He does not roll, but because of how he's built, you can rotate these treads completely around if you want, which does help with articulating the turret up, even though you are moving the entire body of the tank by doing that. And he can also rotate here, and for the most part, he clears the tread parts of his body pretty well, so you can mess around with this. I don't know who really wanted a tiny Megatron tank, but you got it, and it works pretty well. It's pretty cute, pretty fun. I do like it. And Elita here is the very fun one, if only because she rolls. Admittedly, though, because she's got, like, the ribbed detailing on her front tire, on a hard surface like this, she has a harder time rolling. I mean, she still can, but, like, that front wheel eventually gets caught like that. But on, like, a softer surface, she is going to glide perfectly. So Elita's the really fun one, especially because we still don't have her Studio Series figure. So at least we have other forms of Elita 1 to put in our toy collections for this movie. And yeah, just random cute little vehicle modes. I have no idea why they chose to include these, but they're here. We got them. They're interesting accessories, and I like them more than I thought I was going to. They're obviously not in scale, but they're fun. And we'll put them aside for now, and we'll get to talking about the toys, shall we? They have the same really nice bases that we've been getting since Nemesis Prime. They both come with those crystal thingies, but in blue and orange this time for Starscream. So, who should we talk about first? I guess we will talk about Bumblebee, since we did just do his deluxe figure, and there you see him lighting up really well. So, he's got great glow in his eyes, he's got a decent glow in his belly. Unfortunately, the light doesn't travel to his headlights that well, but the rest of him does glow really nice. And you'll see that he has his arm blades here, his stingers, perhaps, as an animated throwback, even though the stingers were guns and animated, and every other version of the franchise treats them more like knives. But you can see they're a little wavy with their energy, almost like a Kylo Ren lightsaber type effect. And I figured when building him that this was going to be like the 07 Optimus, where you remove them whenever you want, so you can have them displayed without them. And technically you can. I mean, there's really nothing stopping you, but like, these things are a lot tighter on their pegs than 07 Optimus's swords were, and I'm even more afraid that these will break. In fact, do I already have a chip in here? Not yet. I don't think I do yet. But we're going to put this back on just to see. There's actually a pretty big gap here in B's arms compared to 07 Optimus. So it feels like maybe you are meant to just have him always have the blades coming out, which I don't know how to feel about that, especially because if we put this back on, we're gonna see that his hands are honestly a little restricted by the daggers, and by that I mean his fisted hands, because these hands, he does come with one of each for each arm, but I just have the open one on this side and the closed one on this side. The closed one can clear it just fine. Like, it doesn't feel too restricted. I mean, it does if you want to rotate it, but, like, it's not really hitting the blade. This one, the fist, this one definitely is rubbing up against the dagger and pointing it out. So you might not even want to give him these hands, since he doesn't have anything to hold, so he doesn't really need them. And I don't really know what you would even display him holding, because the only Transformers 1 accessory we have for this price point are the guns that came with Optimus and Alita, and Bumblebee never used one of those in the movie, so he doesn't really need to hold anything. So we'll get in here and take a closer look at his detail. You can see his wheels on his shoulders. He's got, like, I guess it's like a hubcap or something in there. It's really just to invoke his live-action movie look, because Bumblebee is definitely one of the characters in TF1 that is just the Bumblebee movie Cybertron scene design taken and made better, because TF1 has a better art style than the Bumblebee movie does. And you can see all his chest detail, very robotic. Kind of slopes in, again, to give a very live-action Bumblebee-like look, but it's not truly one-to-one there. He's got big feet that feel a little bit more G1B inspired, but I'd have to look at the Bumblebee movie design again to see how those looked, since I never really paid too much attention to his pre-Cybertron design. But I do know they started giving Bumblebee big shoes in the last two live-action movies, so not shocked to see this version of him having it as well. And there is that head, where it's like a G1 Bumblebee face with a movie Bumblebee-like helmet. And speaking of heads, he does actually come with an alternate one, so we can give him his battle mask. I love this. I really, for some reason, just like the look of the G1 Bumblebee toy face of the battle mask with the big old visor. So I'm really glad to see this brought back in Transformers 1. It wasn't there that long, but I'm still happy to see Bumblebee having it, and I like that we have a toy of him with it. I wish the Studio Series did this. I get why the Studio Series didn't. But, hey, I got it in Blokees form, and that's great. So I have at least one version of it. And speaking of, he does have one more accessory. You gotta pull off his arm here, which that was easier than the first time. The first time it was very tight. So think about that. Keep that in mind, because it could be very, very tight. Like, this is putting this arm cannon of his on. This is very, very tight on the peg, but there you go. So he has his arm cannon now, and it's very, very splayed out, the armor bits from the actual inner robot piece, I guess. And I'm not a big fan of this peg here that's sticking out of it. I'd have to watch TF1 again to see if it really did have that in the movie, but yeah, there's the arm cannon, and no real detail for the barrel of the cannon either. Like, it's just a smooth, flat surface, so that's a little upsetting. But still, overall, I think this is a good-looking Bumblebee. Very shiny, very golden. And let's just bring in that deluxe, just for a little side-by-side, and this one is still gold, but more of a softer, plasticky gold, because this one is obviously painted all over, and this one is not. So this one is clearly more true to the depiction of the gold in the movie, but, like, this one gets the job done. And canon-wise, his feel a lot bigger, a lot more impressive, just because his go over the hands, whereas his are the arm. But I do think this one has the cooler looking blades because they're thinner. They feel more like actual blades, whereas these feel like little foam sticks, and I don't really get the dot detail they have on them. I mean, these are very different toys. This is a Transformer. It's a changing robot toy, and this is a buildable action figure. So, model kit. I mean, they're advertised as model kits, but again, Blokees never feel too model kit-like to me just because the plastic's really good, and I feel like I can play with them without breaking them. I mean, proof to that is Starscream, because he fell recently, and I know from other Transformers model kits from, like, Flame Toys and stuff, that if they would have fallen the way Starscream did, they would have broken. All that happened with Starscream is this null ray here came off, and I put it back on, boop, he's just fine. Nothing bad ever happened. So, very different toys. I can't say that one is better than the other. This one does better represent the on-screen depiction of the character, because this one also has like the pistons in the knees, which I think look really cool, but I'm pretty sure those were never there in the movie. And also because of transformation, he has these big panels around his legs and stuff, and he's very flat like a pancake, whereas again this guy's more three-dimensional. He's more sleek, he's more slim. Like, this is what we saw on screen. This is close, probably based on like the almost final concept art, but not finished. So, you know, they're very different toys. This is the one most Transformers fans are going to get, and I get it. I think this is the best Transformers 1 toy. I really do, but as a Blokees toy based off TF1, this is really good. This is really good, and it's so much better than the other Bumblebee we got in Classic Class based off the Rise of the Beast Bumblebee, which makes me really upset because I love the Rise of the Beast Bumblebee design, but this one, the Bumblebee design that I like more that I look at him, the more I like him, but still, this is not my favorite Bumblebee design ever. This is a good toy, though. Really good toy. And, you know, that's what's important here. It doesn't have to be for me specifically, or whatever. What am I even saying? Bumblebee, he's a good Bumblebee. I really do like him. I like him a lot. I liked him more than I thought I was going to. Now, Starscream. I honestly don't know how I feel about him. I wasn't too hyped for even getting a Starscream based on TF1. Really, especially for Blokees, as much as I love them, my only real expectations were the main cast of the main four and Sentinel, which thanks to Bumblebee we now have those 5, and then probably Alpha Trion, and that's probably the fault of the initial announcement years before Transformers 1 came out of the cast, because those 6 were the first ones revealed all at the same time, so it made me feel like those are the big names, those are the ones we all have to have, and I don't even have any Alpha Trion toys yet, probably because the only one out right now is the one from the main line, which I just didn't get to save some money and space for future releases. And Blokees hasn't done him in Classic Class yet. We are getting him in Galaxy Class, though. And that's going to be kind of cool. Also, we're getting Starscream in Galaxy Class as well. And I do like the look of this Starscream more than that one. Just from the initial photos, that one looks very bulky, and this one is more true to the movie design of being very slim and sleek, which I think is pretty true for Starscream. I don't think he needs to be the thinnest, lankiest guy like he was in Prime, but I definitely don't want him to be buff. I like more of like what G1 Starscream was, or most Starscream designs, where he's somewhat sleek. He's like in between a slim guy and a buff guy. He's like an in-between. Like, you can tell he could probably do some fighting because he has been part of this giant war for years, but, you know, he's not Megatron. He's not Megatron's level of power. And I think most Starscream designs are really good at invoking that. I just feel this one's a little bit thin. And I feel almost like this would fit Thundercracker a little bit more personality-wise. That's probably a weird thing to say, especially because Thundercracker has his own design in TF1, but I haven't properly analyzed that because he's barely ever on screen, and I haven't really looked at the trading card, which is the only way to get a real good look at him, but I know he's different from Starscream design-wise. Starscream is unique, and yeah, I'm kind of going off about other stuff because, he's a good figure, but he's kind of basic. It's interesting that we finally got a Starscream in Classic Class. I was really expecting them to announce an 07 Starscream just when Optimus and Megatron happened in the 07 style, but then TF1 happened, so we had to get all the TF1 characters. And I do think he's really well done. He's really nice. I like the shade of the gray silver on him. It's a very darker shade as opposed to... Well, I guess it was always gray on Starscream, wasn't it? I always think of it as white for G1 Starscream, but I guess it really was always kind of a grayish color. But, like, this tone of it, I think looks really nice. Starscream's always had kind of a bizarre design for a villain character, because, like, most other companies, when making Transformers the way Transformers was made, of analyzing all the designs and the color schemes, would have looked at Starscream and made him one of the good guys. But for some reason, in the process of making Transformers, Starscream became one of the bad guys, and his design has always kind of felt a little contradictory of that. It's been interesting. Starscream has a lot of variations, and the TF11, oops, I just pulled off part of his leg, is not my favorite, but it's not bad. And honestly, I was kind of mixed on Starscream's inclusion in the movie as well. It's just, I don't know. I don't really feel like him, Soundwave, and Shockwave really earned their presence in the film. I feel like they're there just to get them out of the way. That's like one of the few critiques I have for that movie. And toy-wise, he's just another Blokees figure. He moves. He does have a big restriction here in his hips where you have to flip up the entire red section if you want to move his legs forward at all, and that does look pretty weird. It looks fine when he's going out because the leg is going in the same direction as the hip skirt, but yeah, and also his cockpit thing moves with him when you rotate his waist, so he can't do a full 360 if you wanted him to. And I guess his feet are a little bit limited just because he's got that big blue bit on the front of him. And yeah, he's also got articulation in his wings, so if you want to pose them back, which is all you can really do with them, you can. This one is not. This little bit here is not rotating at all. This one did. But yeah. And he's also got his Decepticon symbols, which I didn't think about this when I talked about Megatron, but the Decepticon symbols being on this guy makes it very specific for displaying them as, like, after the events of the movie. So I guess if you put these, if you're a stickler for all the details of all your characters matching when you put them together, then you can't really put these guys with Sentinel, because Sentinel would be dead if they have their Decepticon logos already. And yeah, they are upside down. They were upside down in the movie as well. It's either a mistake or an intentional homage to Starscream's original toy. So, your opinion, I think it's an intentional homage. And he's also got, like, these extra guns on his wings for his jet mode. And you can see he's got his little tiny null rays in his arms. Very small null rays, too. But if you like Starscreams that have the null rays up in the shoulders like the original instead of on the forearms, which is where I prefer the null rays, you got them there. So that's a nice inclusion. Oh, and we haven't lit him up yet. He has orange for his eyes. I think I'm probably going on a bit too much here. He's a very basic figure. I definitely think if you like Starscream, you're going to be into this, especially if like Starscream is like your favorite guy. You're really gonna like him. But I'm not as wowed by him as I am Bumblebee or previous releases in the classic class. He's not my favorite. He's not my least favorite, but I'd probably have to put him down there just because I don't think he has that much variety to him. Like, he has some weapon holding hands as well, but there's nothing to hold in them. So all he really does is pose, and he does look nice. He's a good looking Starscream. He just doesn't wow me. He's on the weaker side of the movie's designs, in my opinion, and I wasn't too excited to get a figure of him, but there's really nothing wrong with him. If anything, I like him more than I thought I was going to, because I just think he's got really nice color schemes and stuff. So we'll wrap it up with a little comparison of characters from Transformers 1, heroes on one side, villains on the other, just to put them all next to each other. And are we going to have to zoom out more for Sentinel? Yes, we are. Let's get everybody in shot here. Sentinel causing trouble. You know what? Here we go. We'll just put Bumblebee in the middle, and Sentinel can sit in the back, because he's a ghost anyway. Stand, Sentinel. Stand. And get Starscream facing the camera. And there we go. We got a complete set of classic class Blokees for Transformers 1. And yeah, they look pretty decent with each other, the completed cast. Starscream, I'll give him this. He does have a nice splash of color that does stand out compared to everybody, but at the same time, Optimus also has that same splash of color. So maybe he'll look better once we get the Soundwave and Shockwave from Champion class, so we'll have our Decepticon group together. But like, when I think Transformers 1, I think these guys. I'm like, Starscream is in the movie. He has a role to play, but it's like my least favorite part of the movie. It's like the part of the movie I do not care about is Starscream's inclusion. So, Bumblebee, on the other hand, is pretty great. He might be my new favorite of the TF1 classics, even though I really like the Alita. Like B, Alita, and Optimus were like all great, and Megatron's good too. It's just, I think, didn't I say in my video that I liked Megatron more than Optimus? Whatever. I do like these figures. I think they're a good send-off for the classic class collection and price point, at least. And Bumblebee is definitely my preferred of the two, but Starscream is still pretty good. Pretty well done. So, yeah, I've definitely been rambling on enough here. Thank you all for watching, and see you guys around.
Greetings, human germs. It is I, Skywarp. Lord Megatron demands that you subscribe to this channel. If you do, then you may be spared from the Decepticon conquest of Earth. You would be wise to do as he says.